Hey HTC, welcome to Daily Devos. I'm Pastor George, and today we're looking at Philippians chapter 4, verses 14 through 17. Let's read that together. Yet it was good of you to share in my troubles. Moreover, as you Philippians know, in the early days of your acquaintance with the gospel, when I set out from Macedonia, not one church shared with me in the matter of giving and receiving, except you only. For even when I was in Thessalonica, you sent aid more than once when I was in need. Not that I desire your gifts. What I desire is that more be credited to your account. In this passage, the Apostle Paul reflects on the early days of the faith of the Philippian church. Look how Paul puts this. Again, I'm quoting, quote, in the early days of your acquaintance with the gospel, end quote. We have to go back to Acts chapter 16 for some context. Paul didn't even plan on going to Philippi. Man, he wanted to go to Asia. He had different plans and different places that he wanted to go, but in a dream, in a vision, there was a man from Macedonia. And the text tells us that he was begging Paul to come and help them. Well, Philippi was the leading city in Macedonia. And when Paul showed up, we have this great story about how Lydia and all of her household came to faith and they were baptized. And then that incredible story about the Philippians jailer and how through the miraculous release of Paul, the Philippian jailer and his household were baptized. It had to have been an amazing time. Think about the Apostle Paul and the Philippians as they would reflect back at their earliest acquaintance with the gospel. But what happened is they didn't just take their salvation for granted, but they recognized that there were others that needed help. They recognized that they had an obligation to see that gospel spread throughout the entire world, that other people would be helped like they were helped. And so they began to support the Apostle Paul. They began to help in his ministry, whether he was on the road traveling like he was in Thessalonica or whether he was in chains for the gospel. They came alongside and supported his needs. And the Apostle Paul was very grateful for that. But did you catch what he said at the end of the passage? Right there at the end of the verse, he said, "Not that I desire your gifts. What I desire is that more will be credited to your account." What the Apostle Paul wanted for the Philippian church is that they would gain the reward and the satisfaction through their obedience with their gifts and tithing. Man, I'll tell you right now, when you talk about money in a local church context, people have a problem with it. They don't, hey, leave my money alone. And even when pastors talk about giving and tithing and supporting the work of the gospel, it can often sound self-serving. I need you to meet my needs. But the Apostle Paul makes it very clear. The desire we have for even your responsibility and stewardship in tithing is so that you would reap the benefit. You would reap the reward of being faithful with your finances and supporting the work of the gospel. It is spread throughout the high desert and even around this planet.